Hello, welcome to the 24th lecture of the Semantic SEO course. In this lecture, we will talk about how to structure the answers in a better way. To be able to help the authors, sometimes you can use this type of actually screenshots from the search engine result pages. Since the semantics are language agnostic, we are able to use actually other languages to understand the overall judgment of the search engines for a topic. For instance, here we have a specific type of heading. The only thing that you should be doing is actually colorizing this specific heading. It means look below. Once you see the same heading here and the same color, it means that actually you will need to examine the answer, and let's parse this answer together as the search engine actually can do. Here, we see that actually we have a consensus call out. The search engine Google calls these things as the word call out, but basically since it represents a consensus, I try to use the word consensus call out. Then the question tells that how long does language education take in Germany? So this is a representative question, and also it is an implicit question. First of all, which language it is not told, what part of Germany it is not told, what kinds of a language education it is not told, and for whom it is not involved as well, and in what century you are asking this for, it is not included too. Which means that this is actually a representative question for a main answer. And if you look at here carefully, you will see that we always bolded the time units like Turtwix, hours, and the hours. We also have one more hours here, but it is not actually bolded. It says 750 classroom hours. It is not bolded because it's not that much clear exactly what these mean in total time calculation. And here when we see the 3 hours daily and 3 hours per week, then the total time, then you start to get the semantic order or the logic in this answer. First, we give a total answer or total time as an answer. Then we give actually per week time. Then we actually give the daily time. Another thing is that we also give a method like individual practice. And based on lexical relations, if you have individual practice, you can also have group practice too. And we have it as well, like group of language students. And at the same time, since we didn't mention which language exactly, our answer starts with German, then the first sentence ends with the English, which are the most important language candidates here because query is in English, but the only country in the query is Germany. Then we also have a language learning organization, which is FSI. We also have semantic annotation in an approving or aligning way, like approximately and estimates are connected to each other. Then we also have the words like, let's say, language or language students. Then we also have the words like study, class, or classroom, or group of language students. And we also have predicates like time, or let's say spend, and time spending. And we mentioned the German also second time here, and the word take weeks or take time, let's say word compositionality appears in our answer too. There are many other things here that actually we can mention, for instance, including a methodology or data time, perfect time, and the total time, and including the total classroom hours, including more languages or more language learning organizations or teaching organizations, more analogies, and many other sections. But basically, once you're able to understand and parse these specific answers like that, you will be able to actually understand what kinds of an answer you should be actually designing. For instance, our contextual structure hints here basically tells that duration of the language education, time options, and at the same time it tells it should be answered in a diversifying the language school according to the city and the city and the language type. Because from city to city, it might be changing. And this, as you remember, we also mentioned a part, the city names too, like safest cities. And whenever you mention the city name there, you are creating actually a connection to somewhere else. Because according to the safety or prosperity of the city, the person might prefer that specific city to learn the language because the person will need to stay there during that total weeks. And At the same time, we give these type of sentence structures. Only thing that the author will need to do is actually changing these variables and filling these specific sections. So sometimes we also put these type of URLs to give a kinds of opportunity to the authors make a kinds of research. So if you look at the other content briefs, we continue to do these things for all the briefs all the time long. The screenshots or different types of, let's say, explanations, and usually it continues like that. The thing here is that whenever we use these things, we actually try to increase the overall relevance and overall richness of entire semantic content network. If you change a single anchor text here, it will be affecting actually the heading or the H1 of this specific brief. If the H1 changes, the next rest of the contextual vector will be changing, which will be affecting this anchor text, which will be affecting the title or the H1 of the next article. Basically, everything here is connected to each other, and that's why it is called semantic content network. In the future lectures, we will have a few, let's say, a few language model trainings based on the Google's own AI posts, and then we will dive into some other projects, and from there we will be creating these things together. Thank you.